This video is about squats. I call this squat progressions. And we're going to move through a series of exercises to make our squats more efficient for our pelvic floor strengthening efforts. So squats are a great lower body workout. It targets all the lower body muscles that work in conjunction with the pelvic floor or are supposed to. So they're great, but we can use them in a way that makes everything work together a little bit better. So our core is not just our belly muscles. Our core is our abdominals, some back muscles, our respiratory diaphragm, and our pelvic floor diaphragm. And there's an internal pressure system within that provides support and stability for us through any movement, particularly strenuous movements. So we want our core canister working efficiently to provide that support for us. And we can use this within our squats. So inhaling is when we want to sit back into our squat, and exhaling is when we want to come up. And that goes back to that core canister working efficiently, the internal pressure, because we want that support when we're doing the more difficult part of the exercise, which is coming up. Now, in order to feel our core engage, which is our abdominals, we won't really feel the back muscles, but we'll feel our corset muscle, our transverse abdominis, engage and our pelvic floor lift. And the way I like to start this with my clients and my students is by using a sound when we exhale. And for this video, we're going to use shh, the shush sound. So just for fun, take a breath in, exhale, it takes a while, but you might feel how that corset muscle, that transverse abdominis, engages, and we get a resulting lift of the pelvic floor. If you don't feel it all quite perfectly, don't worry about it. It comes with practice and patience. So we're going to use that breath a couple of times, just trying to feel an expansive inhale, letting everything go soft, loose belly. Exhale. So this is something you can practice, really feeling this core engagement. And we're going to use a block. So it could be a block, it could also be a rolled up bath towel, just something that you can place between your thighs. Now, I love this exercise because when we engage our inner thighs, which are our adductor muscles, adductors, they work with the core. So when we engage and squeeze, just from squeezing the block, there's a little midline lift and engagement. So if we incorporate that with the breath, we get a little bit more. I use my hands, inhaling, expansive, soft. Exhale, squeeze your block. And you might even feel a little more core engagement. Remember, that's the transverse abdominis and the pelvic floor. So let's do that a couple more times. Inhaling, soft belly, soft and expansive. Exhale, squeeze against your block. And inhale, we'll do it one more time. Soft and expansive, soft belly. And inhale and release. So one of the ways I think of this is it's almost like shrink wrap. So as we're exhaling and everything's engaging and lifting, it's almost like a little shrink wrap through your core. So this is something to practice right here. That engagement, that lift, that's already bringing some exercise back to the pelvic floor. The inhale stretches it and kind of makes it soft and supple. And the exhale lifts and engages, especially when we're using this specific breath and this specific focus. Now we can add on from there. So as I said, when we inhale, we want to sit back. This is when the sit bones widen and the pelvic floor can receive the breath. It's not really the breath, it's the pressure of the pelvic organs, but we'll say the breath anyway. Inhaling, soft and expansive, pelvic floor receives the breath. Exhale, squeeze against your block and come up to stand. Inhaling, soft and expansive, the pelvic floor receives the breath. Exhaling, and you can keep going with this. It's a slow standing back up because we want to get that transverse and pelvic floor engaging, supporting the movement. Now, I do want to say quickly that there's a tendency to really grip the glutes when we squeeze on this block. So if we really squeeze these as we're coming up, these big muscles, these are some of the biggest muscles in the body, are going to steal the work from the pelvic floor. Pelvic floor's got a whole lot going on in there, and some of the muscles are smaller and they just can't keep up with the glutes. So you want to make sure the squeeze is happening from the inner thighs. If a little bit of work gets going back here, it's okay. That's everything working together. We just don't want the glutes to do all of the squeezing. Inhale, soft and expansive. Exhale. Most of the work's in the inner thighs and our core engaging. So you can do this as many times as you like with the breath to assist. It just really helps us feel. It wakes everybody back up, mind, body, muscles, to how the function is supposed to work. We can progress to just exhaling. So it's an inhale. Exhale, just begin your breath out. Start your squeeze on your block and come up engaging. So that would be a progression here. Losing the sound breath and doing the exercise, but being very, very aware of the engagement of your core. So these are great squats for strengthening the lower body, the pelvic floor. Remember, your pelvic floor is not a muscle that works, it's not an island unto itself. Your pelvic floor is responsible for movement through the pelvis, movement of your legs, circulating blood through the body, supporting your organs, your sexual function. There's a lot going on down there, and they work with our whole lower body. So now, once you get used to the sound breath and then the squats, and then you lose the sound breath and you really feel like you've mastered that engagement on your exhales as you come up, we're going to change to goddess squats. So this is stepping the feet about 2.5, 3 feet apart with the toes turned out at a 30-degree angle. The squat is sitting back, or sitting down rather, on the inhale. And then the exhale, you can start with the sound breath. I will say quickly that I don't feel as much with the sound breath in this because it's a more difficult squat. But you can play with it and see if you like it. But it's the same idea. Inhaling down and beginning your exhale. When you start to feel some engagement, you slowly come up. Now we want to watch positioning on this. I like to bring my arms out in front of me because if I start dipping my hands down, I know I'm moving into an inefficient posturing. We want to have head over ribs over pelvis, inhaling to go down, exhaling to come up nice and slow. And we want to watch the knees. The knees want to track out over the toes here and then back up. So there's a lot going on, a lot to focus on. Always exhaling and engaging on the way up. Inhaling, knees over toes. Exhaling to come up. So this is my squat progression that I use for myself and with my clients and students. You want to be very familiar with your engagements. You can lose the breath, but you still want to really feel it when you exhale. And then when you feel like you've gathered some strength from these squats, try on the goddess squats. They really get the inner thighs involved, and our inner thighs are very crucial to the function of the pelvis, so we like those. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.